Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. This week I decided to continue working on a bit of an experiment by Liquitex pouring mediums in this pour for a 3-color puddle pour with a couple of Phthalo Blues and a nice violet, all by Amsterdam. Now, the trial here is for part 2 of Liquitex's glass pouring medium, which is really great. I'm having a hard time getting really good lacing effects out of it, like I have in the past with my Artist Loft pouring medium, in addition to some just regular plain Jane US Floetrol. So we'll see how the second go goes with this pour, and we'll get into it. Okay, and getting into some puddles here for this pour. Now, these are all colors I had not used before. Again, all by Amsterdam. These are 2 Phthalo Blues. One is lighter, one is the straight up Phthalo Blue, which is quite a bit darker than this one here we are seeing on these pours. Now, the third color is a violet permanent, which is really quite a deep violet, really pushing to a borderline red. But I thought that would be a nice contrast for the sake of the blues going on this pour to create some nice composition and hopefully some pretty lacing in the end. Now going into this canvas with the Phthalo Blue, which again is a very deep dark blue that I really quite like. I've had good success with Phthalo Blue in the past in other pours that in my case were much smaller pours. I had really kind of delved into Phthalo Blue when I was still learning, really enjoying the purples and blue hues that these colors can make in the end of a swipe, for example. So when I was first starting out, I would often use this color combination or a variation of it to just again learn how the colors flowed and how they all work together. So these are a bit of a throwback to me learning as well for the Phthalo Blues and the violets. I love my purples. Who can't love a nice purple or violet? They are just fantastic. So this blue I'm really in love with. Again, I hadn't used by Amsterdam, so this is much different than an Artist Loft version that I've used before and in the past, but it is quite nice with a much darker pigment and it just looks gorgeous. Now here we go with the contrasting color of the beautiful violet. That is going to be my darkest color of all 3, at least the one that stands out for me as the one that will be the differentiator of this pour to make it, again, stand out for these blues and purples. So I did my best initially to get these blues to not touch. At least the same color to same color was the idea, to let this violet be in between and create some separation between all 3 colors. Now I'm going to wreck these in a bit, so hang in there with me. But this violet was quite pretty. Again, all 3 colors mixed with the same ratios by, again, my Liquitex gloss pouring medium and US American Floetrol, 50-50% each. And no, I used the same ratios last week in my previous pour, if you want to take a quick look, but these turned out quite well. They're a teeny bit thicker than the previous night when I first mixed them, but all in all I was quite happy with how they turned out in terms of fluidity and how well they went across the board on the canvas. Okay, and wrapping up the puddles here, I decided to go with the back of a spare paintbrush I use in my tool belt specifically for wrecking puddles or any other designs I decide to make with my pours week to week. And I find that I wanted to get a very good mix of color across the canvas, in that I wanted to at least touch every puddle at least one time, and going back and forth, side to side, up and down, and making sure all of those puddles were wrecked and gone through at least once. So I find this very calming as well, as a side little thing that is just for me. I enjoy doing this. Is actually 1.5 times speed, so I went quite slow initially, but no, this is just creating some nice contrast and design that is going to stick out later on once I'm done with the swipes and my lacing. So again, I find that this works well for creating some neat designs into your pour later on, whether you're going side to side, up and down. With your tilt, it creates some nice, ultimately some nice patterns in the end. So bear with me and we'll get through it and get into our swipe. Okay, now as I finish up my Rex on my puddles, is leading into my swiping, which is always by Amsterdam Titanium White as my cell activator, which I find to work quite well every time. Except this time, much like last time, it didn't create the cells or lacing effect that I am used to. So I was a little put off initially from how this turned out off the middle swipe, which was supposed to be the most prominent and have the most lacing and cells involved. So I decided to go back and get a bit more for the tips of my palette knife to just kind of score off the corners there to make a bit more white as a contrast color, making sure that I got corner to corner in terms of what was going to be tilted off either way, but I wanted to make some, an attempt to have that lacing spread out like I was used to. Now, as I start my tilt here, I have a theory of what may have gone wrong with the lacing, thing here in the past couple of weeks, is that I believe that with my ratios of pouring medium to Floetrol, I'm using too much Floetrol. It could be drowning out the actual pouring medium and causing problems with my lacing I'm used to, because I've used in a lot of pours prior 15-20% Floetrol compared to pouring medium. So I may try to do some experiments on that in a day or two to see how that reacts, but that's my theory, is too much Floetrol and not enough pouring medium. Okay, and having said that out loud, for the ratio problem, or at least trial and error for me, what are your guys' ratios if you happen to use Floetrol and pouring medium? Do you use 50-50 or 40-60 or 10-90? Let me know below in the comments to see what you guys may use on your pours to, combine, again, a pouring medium with Floetrol, understanding it is a paint extender, not a dedicated pouring medium like a Liquitex gloss medium or any others that you guys may use. Anyway, what are your ratios pouring medium wise if you use Floetrol in addition to your pouring medium itself? Let me know. And now, having said all that regarding the pouring medium / Floetrol, I think that this pour is actually quite nice. Now, the outside lacing that I tried to kind of accomplish, I felt like we were going to spill off either way, so I wanted to kind of keep going and not be too concerned about the corners falling off. More of that middle swipe has kind of gone off course with a weird little dip near the top closest to me on the canvas. So anyway, the colors are very vibrant. They're very, very bright. I would highly recommend these colors for anyone to try out. Again, all by Amsterdam. We have your Phthalo Blues. I will list the colors below in the comments or in the description below once we're all through, but these colors really popped. They were quite bright. It could be in addition part the Liquitex gloss pouring medium, I'm not sure, or the fact that there was a bit more paint than I typically use for the sake of my colors. Again, this is quite nice, and I'm kind of digging how it shook out. Alright, now as a bit of a quick note regarding the Liquitex pouring medium, I would highly recommend, if you are not a big lacing fan or don't make pours with lacing a ton, to give this a try. Yes, it is a bit pricey, but maybe worth a try for what you do. If you're a straight pour or a ring pour person, again, minus the lacing that is not in your interest for acrylic pouring, give it a try. It has a great finish. I'm not sponsored by them by any stretch. This is my opinion on what I think of my previous couple pours. It really, really is quite a great product, so give them a shot if you're interested. Now, as I bring back this last couple of corners to the center of the pour, this is wrapping up the tilt. So as I come to a close on the tilts, I'm really again quite impressed by how bright and how vibrant those colors are. Again, the lacing is a little bit weird, but we'll take it. Nothing wrong with something different as we go in for a bit of a wet look overhead. Now again, the blues were really complemented by the violet in this pour. The lacing really isn't bad, it's just not what I'm used to. So I will take it this week. Again, no, nothing to complain about. The results week to week kind of speak for themselves on what it is, but I was really happy with the Phthalo Blues, and this permanent violet is quite nice. So if you have enjoyed this video, click that like button below and I appreciate it. And if you have not yet, please subscribe to the channel for more videos down the road, and leave me a comment below on what you thought overall the total pour front to back, and we will catch you again in the next one.